I'm Ken Whitworth here in Los Angeles, and we start today with some breaking news. Police are saying that numerous law enforcement officers have been struck by gunfire in Charlotte. A SWAT team responding to the scene, police describing it as an active situation. They say that a U.S. Marshals task force was attempting to serve a warrant when gunfire erupted. At this point, it is still unclear the number of people that were shot, but you can clearly see from this video it is quite a scene there. We also do not know the extent of their injuries as well, but a tremendous police presence. You can see officers there in tactical gear as well. Again, they were serving some kind of warrant. You see multiple agencies there that have responded to this home. Again, we know that people were transported to the hospital. We do not know the extent of their injuries at this time. This is happening in the Shannon Park neighborhood. For anybody that is familiar with the Charlotte, North Carolina area, it's the Shannon Park neighborhood. It's in East Charlotte. It's a residential neighborhood, as you can clearly see there, and a tremendous law enforcement presence is still in the area. They're asking people that live there to avoid the scene at all costs. You can also see that they have heavy armored vehicles right in this person's yard as well, just to give you an idea of the situation that the officers on the ground there are dealing with. Joining me for more on this is our ABC News law enforcement contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett to talk about some of this. So, Brad, look, the details that we have right now are minimal, but any time that you hear that numerous law enforcement officers have been struck by gunfire, that is deeply, deeply concerning.
Oh, well, no doubt, Kana. And so what you have, it sounds like, is that they go to this house to serve a warrant, and they're immediately met with gunfire. Now, maybe they weren't expecting that. Maybe they were. I don't know. If they didn't have a SWAT team or tactical people with them, you walk into these situations, you knock on a door, and you may have other officers with you. But if the person on the other side of the door has an assault weapon or something that fires in a rapid fashion, you're at a total disadvantage. So the idea that you could shoot a number of officers in under a minute is quite likely under the scenario that I just described.
Certainly, and I want to mention to you, this just came in, that authorities are saying there in the area that at least one shooting suspect was located deceased at the residence, and they say they located this deceased person after clearing that scene. So again, at least one shooting suspect was located and deceased. They're saying that they're also questioning right now two other occupants inside that home. Brad, what can they gain from that?
Well, a tremendous amount of information. Let's say, for example, that the person they were looking for, obviously they have an idea of him, but do they have an idea of this other person? What were the circumstances? In other words, the people in the house can play out in frame by frame, basically what happened, knocks on the door, person grabs a weapon, starts firing at officers. They can describe what weapons were in the house, why they were in the house, why these two people were in the house, give you a lot of information. And what also brought the police to that residence. It may obviously be connected to at least the person they were looking for, probably.
Certainly, we often hear that it's one of the more dangerous things for officers to do to respond to a domestic dispute. But I'm hoping that you can, help us understand the danger that these officers are placing themselves in when they're going to serve a warrant like this.
I mean, every time I've done this so many times, every time you go to a door and you don't really know what's on the other side of it, you take as many precautions as you can. In other words, you don't stand in front of the door. You stand around the frame. You don't know who may come to the door. But you can do all of these things and put people in tactical positions. But if you have somebody inside that either starts shooting through the door, pops a window and starts shooting, it's very difficult to overcome that immediately. You're right in the middle of a fire. And you may not even have a weapon out at that point. And so as a result, it always is there. You think about it. Every house you walk up to, could this turn really bad? And of course it could. And that's why so many times, Candy, you will see now police, particularly during searches or arrests, will use tactical SWAT teams to enter to potentially avoid maybe this type of shooting.
Something catastrophic happening. Brad Garrett, thank you so much. And reminding everybody, law enforcement says that numerous law enforcement officers have been struck by gunfire there in North Carolina. They have been rushed to the hospital. They did say they found at least one shooter deceased in the residence, and authorities are saying that they will update the public as soon as possible, and we will keep you updated accordingly.